Here's two packages that I've had in my office, geez, I don't know, 6 months or so. These two packages are very, very, very important to somebody who watches this channel. Somebody who I've actually interviewed. These were sent to me by mail from across the country. This is a big deal. This is the first time that this has happened to me, where somebody has given me something from their personal collection for me to include in this series, to include in this historical discovery that I'm on. I think I know what's in both of these packages. I definitely know what's in the packages, but I'm not too sure about the specific details of the content that's in the packages. So I'm actually going to start with one, because the other one is a bit beyond me right now. So I'm gonna move this one aside, and we're gonna open up this one. So this one I'm actually gonna put aside here. Okay, let's put this one aside for 2 seconds. Doing it gently because I don't know how shallow the box is, or how soon the product is. Okay, there's one more layer to go. Okay, so I've seen these photo albums before. These are old photo albums. These photo albums, judging from my experience, would be my my grandparents' era. My grandparents' era when they would have been in their 20s. So this would be like the 30s. The 20s, the 30s, into the 40s, and into the 50s. I think cameras became a bit more affordable. More people had cameras, like the little brownie cameras that we've talked about before in previous videos. So photo albums changed a little bit. Margaret had told me that she's sending me a photo album. She didn't say exactly what was inside the photo album. This photo album spans from her family from 25 to looks like about maybe 41 or so. Margaret's a follower of the channel, and I've actually interviewed her before. So let's get flipping and see what we find. I'm nervous. I'm a little bit nervous. Okay, right off the bat, right away, the first picture is, I'm not sure who it is. It could be Margaret's grandparents, possibly. It doesn't say in the back. They wrote everything in the back, which is fantastic. So it's Valois, Quebec, 1931. So here's Ruth right here. There's Margaret's mother. I think Ruth was born around 1918, so she would have been about 10 here.
Well, my mother's family were living in NDG. My grandfather worked for Canadian Celanese, as I recall, and sold thread and pearl buttons. I still have some of the pearl buttons. I put some on my wedding gown. My mother had an older brother. There were two of them. She was born at home in 1916. And I guess in the 20s, maybe my grandfather was doing quite well at work or whatever, but they decided, I don't know what kind of house they were living in NDG, maybe a row house or something.
Yeah.
And so, or a flat. And so they they built a house on Kings Road. We stopped by it in 1996.
So here's a bigger picture of their home. Vawa, 1928. It had windows right to the end.
And I don't know if they owned the lot next door or not, but my grandfather planted a tree smack in the middle of it. And in 1996, the tree was still there.
Wow.
He did that so that no one would build a house next door.
We found a little nugget. Here's Christ Church of the Resurrection, Vawa. This has to be from the 20s. This is very early on. You can tell by the size of the picture here. Look how sparse it is in the background. Here's more of Vawa. This is interesting. Okay, this here. All right. So this is cool. This is an original copy. I don't know if it's the oldest existing copy. I haven't been through the archives of Clearpoint Elementary. Clearpoint Elementary, originally Cedar Park Elementary, is the oldest English Protestant elementary school in now the West Island, then the Lakeshore. This right here is the Point Claire Intermediate School, Cedar Park School, graduating class of June 1933, the 10th year.
Now, my mother would have moved to Vawa. They moved to Vawa at around 23.
So she would have definitely gone to Cedar Park Elementary because that was already there.
Yeah.
And so I guess the decision was they either just left her there because she'd already started once the new school was built, or she switched over.
I don't know. She may have switched over. She never really, I can't remember her mentioning it.
I believe after this, Ruth did go to Montreal West High to finish, I'm guessing, grades 11 and 12. So back row is Miss F. Ray, the class teacher, then Aaron Woolley, Donald McDonald. People have had a sense of humor about names for years. David Glencross, Lennox Craig, and the front row we have Harold Bumstead, Ruth Davidson, Ruth Millier, and Mr. John Egbert McEwitt, the principal. Wow, graduating class. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 kids. And on the reverse side, we have what we still have today in yearbooks. So let's go down to Ruth. Ruth, a daughter of the gods, divinely tall, and the most divinely fair. All right, that's Ruth's description. Favorite expression? He ought to be shot. Hobby? Softball games. I guess going to them or playing them, we're not sure. Pet aversion is whippet cups or whippet coops. Pastime? Studying or something. Ambition? To drive a car. And activities? Staff of Cedar Parker. I'm not sure what that is.
I do know that she was taught by my father when she was in the 9th grade. And he taught science. And she remembered distinctly him standing on a chair in the middle of the room with a baseball or something, showing how it rotated around the ceiling light, which was the sun. And she remembered that quite distinctly.
So then, right here, we have Ruth's picture. This would be kind of the graduating picture, the official picture, because everyone's standing in the same spot. And so they must be on the grounds of Cedar Park Elementary.
She was about 17 when they started going out. She had not graduated from high school. They were going out.
Oh.
Now she lost her dad. My grandfather died. He had a heart attack and died very suddenly. And I think she was about 14 or 15.
Right.
And
right.
she had that was traumatic for her. And she took some time off school. So she took a little longer to finish school, maybe a year longer. And of course, by the time they got to grade 10 and 11, they had to go into Montreal West because there was no high school. But they had started going out because she told me that he wanted to take her to her senior dance. And she told him he was too old because he was 29.
Now, in the Davidson photo album, this is the first picture that we're seeing outside the Davidson home of John Rennie. The John Rennie. Yeah, he wore round clear glasses, so that's him right here as well.
She was 24 when they married, you know.
I'm a John Rennie alum, and I don't know, I don't remember ever thinking of the name of the school and connecting it with an actual person. So obviously I didn't even know what he looked like. I didn't know that he had passed away. I didn't know if he would have been my grandfather's generation or my great-grandfather's generation. I didn't know if he was a local guy or if he wasn't, or if he's the guy maybe who built the school and that's why they named it after him. I had no idea about any of that stuff. And I would guess that most John Rennie alums are in the same camp as me. Had no clue. And they had no clue that it's kind of a sad story. So to see him here, like, hanging out in Valois is pretty remarkable. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty sad that he never got to see what ended up happening. Here's John Rennie here. That's a good picture of him. Oh, wow. Valois 1925. So this must be right when that house was built. Oh, wow. These are great. You can see what's going on in the background. There's not much there. The street's barely paved. Here it looks like there's some grading here. And then my 1928, it's a gravel road. When you really understand an area and how it developed, you know, you're not just looking at a photo album. You're not just looking at the. You don't just look at the people who are in the album. You're really looking around. You're really looking around, you're looking at the landscape, you're looking at how the houses were built, you're looking at what they were doing in the area, the lawn bowling that existed, the tennis club that was there. I mean, what's interesting actually is that they didn't have any pictures of themselves at the country club. It's possible that they weren't members of the Valois Citizens Association. That's a possibility. I actually have the minutes and I can check if there's a Davidson on there. But if they weren't a member of the Valois Citizens Association, then that means that they wouldn't have been at the Valois Country Club until it went public. I can't remember the year it went public. That could be a reason why there's no pictures at the country club. So that's interesting. But we did get a look at kind of the residential area for sure. And we got a look at the Church of the Resurrection, which was probably, I'm guessing, was their church that they would have gone to. And John Rennie hanging out in Valois in the 30s. Very cool. Because he was the principal of Valois Elementary. So he may have been, I think Ruth said he was living there in Valois because he was the principal just next door at that school. So that was very cool. The second box, I decided some time ago that I needed to go see someone who would help me digest it. This I felt like I could handle. But that next box, the second box, the one I put over there, that one I need some support. And for that one, I'm going to have to bring in another John Rennie alum. Great, you made it to the end of the video. I very much appreciate that. I wanted to remind everyone still watching that there is a PayPal link in the description below if you want to send a donation to support this channel and support my efforts to continue to create this content as much as I can. I can only do it really through your support. So PayPal link in the description. Any donation will be very much appreciated. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next one.